Well, I just got my Cooper snow tires in. These are made in USA, American company. Not too many around like that, right? And the way I know this for a fact is if you look, so if you can see that, right here. I don't know if that's coming out on the screen or not. But DOT U9 is Mississippi. So I'm supporting people working in Mississippi. These are pretty aggressive tires too. These are supposed to be rated very well, but they won't wear out like Blizzaks, but they'll still work very good in snow. You can see they're pretty aggressive tread. And what I'm having on the front here is the older style Douglas Extra Track, which you can see are pretty aggressive in themselves. So you're putting these on right now. Actually, I'm going to be getting, even though I'm down here in Florida, today it's unusually warm and sunny, I'm going to be getting Laclede snow change, which are made in USA. Very easy to install. The other thing is I want to point out, this is why I don't like bringing my stuff to tire shops anymore. See how I cleaned up this rim? They would never do that. It just took me a while to do that. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of bead sealant on here, which is overkill. But this way, there'll never be any corrosion. It'll start on the aluminum or anything like that. It'll have a perfect seal, and you know, I won't have to put tires in it for maybe a year. I mean, tires in it, maybe air in it for a year. So anyway, getting to go ahead and do this. But I'm trying to support everything I possibly can that's made in the USA, and you should too. Yeah, I want to show a little trick I use with the manual tire changer. On the end of this, sometimes, see I have the vice grips here, it keeps the bar from rotating like that, because, or actually down actually would rotate the other way. Now these weren't hard to put on, but sometimes if you're having tires that are used and they've been on there a while, this might kind of tend to rotate, and you're trying to hold it with your hand like this. It's easier to keep it, the key thing from rotating with this. Also, you install these, not that you have to, but see the jagged edge, this like the snow and icicles, that's on the outside. It's got the snow rating. As a matter of fact, now I'm thinking about getting some of these for my Jeep, even though I got brand new tires on there. But what I can do with those, what do you call it, the ones that I have on there now, which are Douglas Extra Track 2, they're Walmart, but they're very aggressive all seasons. They're not winter tires. Made in USA, made by Goodyear, and manufactured in the USA. They'll fit on my Sebring. They'll be slightly oversized. All I'd have to do is get some 15-inch rims, which it has 15-inch and 16-inch rims. It has 16s on there now, but I'll get an extra set of steel rims, 15-inch, and they'll be my mud and snow tires. Now what I'm going to do with this, even though I cleaned up this rim really good, is I'm going to use this bead seal on there. That's not the stuff I showed you yesterday that was so difficult to come off. That was actually the front tire. I put bead sealant on this tire the other day. It's actually coming off of here because I decided to just get new tires. I'm going to use this as a spare. But you'll see me when I pop this off that it doesn't come off. It won't be difficult to take off. So anyway, I'm going to put some bead sealer up around this rim. Not too necessary with aluminum rims. Usually it's a better idea if you're going through a lot of water, mud, you got steel rims, you get a little corrosion over here and they start to leak. If you use the bead sealer, it keeps that corrosion from happening inside the rim here. And also if you got some kind of imperfection you really can't sand out that good, the bead sealer works better. But it's designed, and you almost think of it as Loctite blue. It's not going to be really difficult to remove. It's going to actually, like, you know how Loctite blue keeps the threads from rusting and it keeps the bolts from backing out, but it's not impossible to remove them. It's basically how it works with bead sealer with tires. So a little extra overkill, but I want to make sure this shit stays on there good. Now to fill these up with air, like just to pop the bead on there, you want to use something that fills it up real fast, like this. It'll just full air pressure. You leave the little tire valve out of the stem when you do that, and you have the tire vertical, like this. So, you know, and you press down on it, it pops the bead. And once you pop the bead, you put the valve stem back in there. And I always like using this thing. This is not one of those plastic ones. I don't know when the hell I got this a long time ago. It's all metal. A lot of these are plastic. I had to replace the hose on it though. Nice metal gauge, and then I use a nice easy to read gauge like that. I put 30 pounds in it. Now I'm going to go balance it, put it on a tire, and we'll do the other one. Okay, so with the tire balancer we have to make sure the bubble's in the middle, and there's like these 3 little screws around here to keep it nice. You can see it's kind of shaking a little bit, but it's right in the middle. These 3 little screws will give you a good balance, and sometimes you want to turn the base, but it's sitting on concrete, it should be alright too. So that's right smack in the middle. Well, these tires are going to go unbalanced because I got a bigger hole in the middle here on this mag wheel, and it doesn't work out right with this unless you probably use some kind of adapter. But I think they'll be okay because I've actually have unbalanced tires on my Jeep, and it rides nice. Plus they're going in the rear, and plus they're not shitty tires like some of these Chinese made tires are like really bad. Surprised that Douglas's and the Jeep are good, so they're going to go under unbalanced, no big deal. But you know, I could probably balance them later on or have them done, but I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. So I'm going to put a little grease on these threads here, torque them down about 90 foot-pounds the correct way, because you see I got these damn inserts in here. I'm going to make sure these are on there pretty good because these wheels will come loose. These are aftermarket wheels from probably about, I don't know, at least 25-30 years ago, and they were expensive back then. They were about $600 for the 4 wheels. I'm talking about 25-30 years ago, so imagine what they are now. Well, today, you know, they're made in China, right? So, but they're made in USA. Well, nice thing about having the air impact is, well, I turn the pressure down. I don't use full tank pressure when I'm putting them on, and I put a little bit of grease. This is synthetic grease. I don't know, Pennzoil or some crap, marine grade grease, so it don't rust out, you know. Get them on there. But like I said, I'm not using full tank pressure to put them on, and I'll check the torque after they're on. Saves a lot of bullshit. Anyway, so from there, just torque them on, go to the other side. I'll show you what the other one looks like. Now, the other one I put on bead sealant. I'm going to break it loose. We'll see how easy it's to break loose. It's not weather strip adhesive like that video I showed you, that tire that was installed at a junkyard, not a tire shop. It was a used tire at a junk shop. I think they glued it on with weather strip adhesive. I told them the rim was leaking a little bit. I didn't really watch every detail they did, but I saw glue. It's not bead sealant, specially made. We'll see how this other one breaks loose. I bet you it breaks loose no problem. I did a video on that, I think last week, several days ago. But we're putting a Cooper on it, and that tire is going to be the spare. The one I'm taking off on the other side, that'll be the spare. So it'll be all equal sizes because my spare is a little bit different size. So this is the stock size, 205/70/14. This is an El Camino 78. You know, I ain't putting 17-inch wheels on it, staying all stock. Now, this is where the impact comes in handy, taking these off. See? Makes it simple. Doing this one hand. I actually have the helmet cam, but I found out I'm going to use this camera holding it on a tripod next to my knee. That'll keep the shakes down. So, other camera's got anti-shake in it, but well, you get the idea, man. So I mean, this isn't like you know, yuppie productions here. Well, this tire's the one with the bead sealant, not weather strip adhesive. Let's see how it breaks loose. No fancy tricks. Oh Almost. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem. You can see it started coming loose. Doing this with one hand. Normally, I tap this in there just a hair. Like, in other words, this. Let's see if I get a hammer. And normally I tap this in with in a hair. Get that in a little further. See? Now, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's popping. See that? It's going. There it is. That's with the bead sealing, see? It doesn't stick the tire like glue. It never hardens. It's like a pliable stuff that keeps it from corroding the rim. So I'm going to take these off. I got to clean these rims up all around. It'll probably take me an hour to do that. Not just the edges, but all inside. And then we're going to put this. This is going to be the spare. The spare that I actually have in this car. It was a used spare when I bought the car in '91. So the tires got to be from the 80s. So this one's going to be the spare. Okay, so I got the drill and I got a couple different nylon wheels, but you can see inside this rim how crapped up it is. Actually, that's tire sealant, all kinds of shit. Every time I had these tires changed, I told these guys to clean the rims. They never clean them that good. And I wound up putting tire sealant in, and I never had these tools to break all this stuff down. I'm doing everything myself. Fuck these yo-yos, man, because it takes a lot of time to freaking clean up the wheel really good. So I got a face shield here, and I think I could hold the camera pretty steady if I got the tripod against my body, and you know, like a 3-point system. So I don't need this damn helmet cam. So we're gonna clean up this wheel just nice and shiny, pretty like the other one. Put the tire on it, and when I get the tire put on this side, what I'm going to do is, this is the side that faces the sun. The sun beats on these tires. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them up, because that's what freaking screws them up, the sun. So, you know, because the car sits here all day and then it gets used once in a while for hauling shit. The sun actually fucks them up. So I want to keep these things covered up. That's a tip if you want to keep those tires good. Keep them covered up. They will last probably a lot longer than 10 years. It's the sun breaks down everything, man. The sun. You keep it like in a garage, or you at least cover up them tires, you're not going to break down. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And you can see I quite didn't get everything out of there. So even when I cleaned this up, but it was enough to make it seal good, because it held air for 2 weeks. And I says, these rims never were a problem. It's just the way these yo-yos cleaned them up. So I want to get them really clean. You notice too, that's a good experiment with that bead sealer. This is a little rough right here. This isn't the bead sealer, there's probably a little corrosion on there still. Even with that crap on there, that bead sealer kept it good. So that's a testimony for using that shit. So, and you can see the tires did not get stuck on there. That was good. So clean them up right, really good. Notice the power didn't go on there for this drill. Actually, I have this thing plugged into a surge protector. It's another damn good thing to do, because a lot of people don't do that. You just plug it straight in the wall and figure, hey, you know, it's got some kind of short protection in it. I actually use a surge protector outside, besides, you know, the one that's in the house. Now that's pretty squeaky clean. I went over the center of it too, like in here. Didn't quite get all that off because I don't know what's in there. It's like a rubber, but you know, it's all super clean right in here. So put that tire on, and we'll put the same deal like the other one. We'll put the bead sealer on it, which is this right here, Professional use only. Bead sealer, ultra seal, it's the right stuff for it. It doesn't glue the tire on there. Just make sure it's never going to leak, and it will still be easy to remove, as you saw. Here's another trick for popping a bead on a tire. I could probably make separate videos on this and play Mr. Profitability, but you should pay attention to my videos, man. So I throw stupid tips in here. You put the tire over the other tire. You kind of seat the bead on the one side a little bit, and this side you can press down on the rim, and this whole tire, while you're pressing down on the rim, this whole tire doesn't move. Then you fill it up with air like this, with the little the fast way, right? And with the needle valve out of there. So in other words, sometimes when you're trying to press it vertically, it's a little difficult. This way, this always works. This always works. You make sure the rim is on the other side, hooked on a little bit on the other side, and then when you press down on this side, it just goes all even, and this tire brings, you know, the bottom tire moves this tire up onto the rim, and then it fills up and snaps the bead on. Another little trick. So I know a lot of little tricks, man. Why am I an accountant? My dad used to say I should have been a mechanic. I was doing a mechanical work and body work when I was going to school for accounting. Go figure. Now in the old El Camino, the spare tire is actually it's inside under the front part of the bed, behind the passenger tire, behind the passenger seat. By the way, this got a nice class 3 hitch on it. See it? It's bolted up to the frame, 2-inch receiver. And I can tell you one thing I like about these wheels is they're not pretty. I mean, they're okay, but they're not pretty because I don't have to worry about scratching them, and they don't rust. I don't have to paint them, they don't rust, and I don't have to worry about scratching them. So I'm keeping these wheels. That was one of the deciding factors of staying with the old stock 14-inch tires. Well, these were nice petrified tires. You can see I had to use a couple other tire levers. These are actually for the motorcycle, but it's off. A little bit of rust around here too. See that? Clean it up. Well, the tire valve was really old too, so we got a nice new one. Put it in here, and let me pull the camera down because I have to do something. Basically, you just screw this little handle, the same thing that, you know, rethreads and cleans out the tire valve if you're keeping the old one, and takes out the little you know, whatever the hell you call that damn thing, the valve. You just unscrew it from the top, see, and you make sure it's fully seated down there in the bottom, which it is. And got to take this out, because the valve out itself, because I'll be filling this up with air. And you can see I cleaned off the rim. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime it and paint it. I'm going to tell you the truth, I'm just going to paint it. I'm going to paint it with engine paint, because I don't see how the hell primer is going to make a difference. And then it's going to have the bead sealing on it. First we got to chemically clean it, and you know, we'll spray it up, let it dry, and put the tire on it, and we got to balance it. This one we can balance. Yeah, actually I can't balance the spare either, because if you look at this the hole the center hole for the rim, you see how bent up it is? It won't sit in here nice and straight. So I don't know where the center is, so it's not going to balance. So it's no big deal. I never really used a spare. I think the last time I used a spare for the car was back in the early 90s, because I keep a fix-a-flat plus a tire pump plus a tire repair kit with the plugs on me. Actually, all my cars I have that. But actually my issue with, I'll be able to balance those Coopers by, all I need to do is put lighter springs in this balancer, and then it'll go, the tire will push down into this right here. So that's all I got to do, but not essential right now because I don't use the car too very long a distance. But I'll get it done 100% right a little bit later on, but that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And if you got a rim like this, and I should probably get a replacement rim for the spare. I probably will, but I've never, like I said, I haven't used a spare. Well, it's a good spare tire. It's not going to freaking give me a problem, so it's okay for that, I guess. Yeah, and just to let you know where the El Camino has a spare tire, like you can see, this is inside the door here. That's the back window. It just sits in, like it's underneath the bed actually, but it's inside the car, and it has like a seat belt that holds it in, and it has this handle which has the plate for the bottom of the jack on the opposite side with another plate on the other side. You just pull this handle and it comes out, so you just tuck it up behind there, and this rug goes over it like that, the carpet goes over it like that. And of course I got my jumper cables in here, starting fluid, marble mist oil, brushes, battery chargers, spotlight, tire pump, tire repair kits, rope, plus I got tow straps. You know, this is a truck car, man. This ain't no show car.